Ever get tired of the endless slog of point releases and incremental changes and continuous updates? Today I want to talk about breakthroughs. What is a breakthrough and how can you achieve it, and why maybe it's not quite as hard as you think it is. Hi, I'm Barry Briggs. So what is a breakthrough? Well, we can think of a couple of examples. Up until 2007 or so, all the world's phones look like this. A BlackBerry or a knockoff like this one. This one's a Samsung, in fact. Little bitty screen, some keys down below. So it's kind of like a miniature keyboard and computer, actually. And then along came Apple, and in June 2007, Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone. Here it is. This is an iPhone 1, and look at that. It still kind of works. Charged it up this morning, and it changed the world. Today, BlackBerries and these kinds of phones no longer even exist. That's a breakthrough. Some call it disruption. We'll go with breakthrough for now. Another example nearer to home is, of course, ChatGPT. November 30th, 2022. There's a before and there's an after. Before was about machine learning and improving sentiment analysis and speech recognition. After November 30th, 2022, it was all about chat now agents and so on. So these are disruptive events. And what I want to talk to you about is the following. Let's take this phone again as an example. Now, Steve and Apple could have built a better version of this. And had they done so, it might have taken about as long as it took them to do this, right? Building a better version of this still requires engineering, still requires software development, still requires design, still requires fabs and manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. But instead they decided to chart a new course and build the iPhone. And I'm going to posit to you that the time it would have taken for them to build a BlackBerry clone and the effort involved is approximately the same as it took to build the iPhone, modulo some amount of time. So that brings us to Barry's law of breakthroughs. Check it out. Here it is on the screen. Now you look, the lower line indicates incremental progress. Hey, look, we all know what it is. We set our requirements, we build things, we have short delivery schedule. It's predictable, there's very little risk involved. We have RACI charts to make sure everybody's accountable. Boom, we hit our milestones, and then we're on to the next one. It's predictable, everybody gets a good performance review, that's great. But look at the top line. The top line's about breakthroughs. And first thing I want to call your attention to is that the work, time, and effort is about the same as all those little incremental improvements. It's about the same. That's what we were saying about the iPhone a few minutes ago. Sure, it's scary. There's a lot of risk involved. You have to be committed to actually making it happen. But the reward at the end is maybe it changes the world, maybe it changes your company, maybe it changes your team. It's a breakthrough. So what does that mean? Should we always strive for breakthroughs? Maybe. But there's a time for breakthroughs and a time for refinement, for improvement, for updates, for fine-tuning. The trick is to know when. But always be ready to strike when the iron is hot, when that opportunity comes. How can you be ready? Always be learning what the market wants. Learning what the technology offers, learning when you can bring them together to perhaps change the world. Thanks very much.